So now that we have an entry from 112.35, and we have taken some profits hitting our white line here. Right, so for the active trader, you can see that at that point, right here at this point, you still have your RSI with a possibility of a bounce to the 30 line. Look where their candlestick was at here, right guys? Take profit here. You should be somewhere in the 10 to 15 point profit range. Take profits here. With your stop loss at break even, now you can go to what I call your second level of our chart analysis. So at this point, using our crosshairs, at this point, you can see that the RSI still has some movement towards the 30 line. As you can see, eventually it did break the white line here, and it produced an additional 17 points. Now remember what we said on 122 was an overall target. So from this area 122.20, being that we have an overall target of 122, the possibility of those extra 20 points with a stop loss at break even, at this point, now you're in control of the trade. At this point here, you are completely in control of the trade, and now you can shoot for the additional 20 points. And for your traders that have taken the our stochastics and RSI classes, I believe we had some 2 weeks ago. You can see that very possible turnaround point at 120.200 to 120.190. So even when we met our target at 122, you can see then after that we called out a trade that we can actually buy euro yen at 122, therefore producing, made its way to 122.14. Realistically, with spread, you probably would have made 8 points, and that would have been a nice another counter trend scalp trade. So if you're the trader who did not take this trade, being very patiently, you can see that 122 would have been another nice entry to buy for what we call the rebound here. And notice our other three moving averages, using them together, this line was your entry point. This was one of your targets. 122 was your overall target. And as we mentioned from last week, when euro yen was around 123, we were talking about that euro yen will soon turn, which eventually did, as it topped out at 123.34 and eventually made its way back to our forecast of 122. Now the best thing to do is setting up for the next set of trades, guys. Now we set up. We made profits, put those in the bank, move on, set up for the next trades. So from this area, what you can do is draw yourself a nice trend line to this top. From 123.30 to 122.75. Now you set up. And for you traders who've been around the trade room for quite some time now, you can see that this is setting up for a nice possible under-over, and therefore producing some more profits for the remaining of the day on euro yen. So I want to thank you guys for joining us today, April the 11th.